Halo Sobat Adsen, salam pintar. Welcome back with Kamajit, your tutor in geography for Adsen.id. In this video, we will answer the questions from Simak UI KKI. Okay, Sobat Adsen, let's take a look to this question. Mountainous areas with an elevation of more than 1,200 meters above sea level and steep slopes holds high potential as a water reservoir zone because elevated areas of over 1,200 meters above sea level receive the largest rainfall and are densely vegetated. Oke, wilayah pegunungan dengan ketinggian lebih dari 1.200 meter di atas permukaan laut dan yang memiliki lereng yang curam memiliki potensi yang tinggi sebagai wilayah reservoir. Reservoir itu wilayah untuk penampungan air. Tapi di dalam tanah ini maksudnya ya. Kenapa? Karena katanya sebab elevated areas atau wilayah dengan ketinggian lebih dari 1.200 meter di atas permukaan laut memiliki curah hujan yang tinggi dan memiliki vegetasi yang padat, begitu ya. Oke, let's evaluate these claims. Ya, kita coba evaluasi statement-statement yang ada di sini. Lihat statement yang pertama dulu. Wilayah pegunungan ketinggiannya di atas 1.200 meter. Atau elevation above 1,200 meters. Steep slopes lerengnya curam. Katanya sebagai wilayah reservoir air. Okay, is that true? An area above 1,200 meters could be the reservoir zone? Is that true? Remember the steep slopes. Yeah, if the slopes is steep, yeah, therefore that area will be, if they receive water from rain, yeah, it will be the rain after the precipitation when they goes into the surface of soil, there will be infiltrated and will be running water on the surface, or as we call it as runoff. If the slope are steep, therefore there will be more runoff than the water infiltrated into the soil and into the rocks, the bedrocks of the soil. So they did not have the potential to being a reservoir zone. Ingat bahwa di sini kata kuncinya adalah steep slopes, lerengnya curam. Kalau lerengnya curam, ya airnya akan lebih banyak menjadi runoff ketimbang air yang menjadi masuk ke dalam tanah atau menjadi infiltrasi, mengalami proses infiltrasi. Kalau yang diinfiltrasinya lebih sedikit, artinya air yang masuk ke dalam tanah itu sedikit. Ya, artinya apa? Artinya dia di dalam tanahnya tidak bisa menjadi reservoir. Sementara reservoir itu ada di dalam tanah atau di permukaan tanah? Ada di dalam tanah. Kalau misalkan yang diterimanya sedikit, maka dia tidak bisa menjadi daerah potensial untuk reservoir. Ya. If the soil and the bedrock receive a little amount of water rather than the water goes down because of the runoff, therefore those area does not have a potential to being a reservoir zone. Yeah. Because reservoir is located under the ground. Yeah, it becomes the source of groundwater. Yeah, especially the Artesian system, khususnya dari sistem Artesis. Yeah. Therefore, we could not make sure that there are reservoir zone at that area. Okay. The first statement is true or false? It's false. The second statement, elevated areas of over 1,200 meters above sea level receive the largest rainfall and are densely vegetated. So there are two claims here. The first claim are largest rainfall, and the second claim is densely vegetated. Okay. Do they receive a high amount of rainfall? Yes, it could be true if they are located in the windward area. Yeah, in the windward area, they will receive, yeah, they will receive the uplifting process of air, including the uplifting process of clouds, which make them getting more rainfall because of the orographical rainfall. However, if they are located in the leeward area of the mountain, they will receive a low amount of water, and then the air will be hot and dry. Yeah, we call it as foehn wind. Ya, kalau dia berada di daerah windward, daerah sisi hadap angin, dia akan mendapatkan jumlah curah hujan yang besar. Sementara kalau dia, kenapa? Karena dari hujan orografis. Sementara kalau dia berada di daerah leeward atau sisi belakang angin, ya, maka dia akan mendapat angin foehn yang panas, kering, dan ya curah hujannya jadi sedikit. So it depends. It's not true, not fully true, but it's partially true. Yeah. And densely vegetated over 1,200 meters. No, yeah. The most densely vegetated area is located in around under 1,000 meters. Yeah, still below 1,000 meters. Why? Because as the elevation increase, the temperature will be decreased. Ya. Kenapa ini salah? Karena biasanya yang daerah paling banyak vegetasinya bukan di atas 1.200, tapi justru di bawah 1.200. Kenapa begitu ya? Karena seiring dengan naiknya ketinggian di troposfer, suhu udara kan turun. Ternyata semakin dingin kan, jadinya tidak semakin banyak tumbuhan yang bisa hidup di situ. So the second statement is wrong again. If both statements are wrong, therefore the answer is E. Okay, move to the next question. The characteristics of fauna in Indonesia is differentiated by the Wallace and Weber lines because fauna in the area between the Wallace and Weber lines have similar characteristics to fauna in Australia. So, both statements are talking about fauna in Indonesia. Yeah. In the first statement, they claimed that the characteristics of fauna, yeah, it means about, we're talking about the species of the fauna, okay, differentiated by the Wallace and Weber line. Okay, let's evaluate this claim. Ya, jadi katanya fauna di Indonesia karakteristiknya itu, ya khusus spesiesnya nih maksudnya ya, terpisahkan oleh garis Weber dan garis Wallace. Ya. Oke. Di Indonesia kita punya dua tipe utama fauna. Ya, sebenarnya di dunia ini ada banyak tipe-tipe fauna, tapi Indonesia kita adalah daerah transisi antara dua wilayah utama, wilayah Asiatis dan wilayah Australis. Ya, in this world we had so many fauna areas, but Indonesia is located somewhere in between the Asia and Australian characteristics. Ya, we had around the world. Ya, we had Paleoarctic. Ya, di seluruh dunia kita punya yang namanya pertama Paleoarctic, and then we had Nearctic or Neoarctic, and then Neotropics, and then we have ASEAN, Australian, and African. Okay, we had 6 fauna zone in this world. Ya, kita punya 6 wilayah fauna di seluruh dunia ini. Paleoarctic, Nearctic. Paleoarctic ini adalah wilayah Eropa dan Eurasia sebagian ya. Palearctic is located in the Europe and some part of Eurasian area. And then Neoarctic is located in the Northern America. Neotropics is located in the South America. ASEAN is located in from India, China, and Southeast Asia. Australian is located in the Australia and its neighbors, New Zealand. And then African area is located in the Africans. So, Indonesia, because we are located between 2 continents, therefore the fauna characteristic will be divided between those continents. Why? Because in the way back in time, yeah, we can have the fauna could not move into the place where they don't have connections, ya. Yang namanya fauna tidak bisa pindah ke wilayah yang nggak punya hubungan daratannya ya. Makanya apa? Makanya mereka hanya ada di satu wilayah tertentu saja ya. Dulu daratan Asia, daratan Australia terpisah begitu ya. Dia Asia, Australia. Indonesia terletak di antara dua-duanya kan, antara Australia dan Eurasia, antara Asia dan Australia. So in Indonesia, we have in the west of Indonesia we have Asiatic, and then Wallace line, and then transitional area, and then Weber line, and then Australian or Australic. Nah, the Asiatic area, is from Sumatra, Java, and Borneo or Kalimantan. The transitional area is in Sulawesi or Celebes and Nusa Tenggara. Australian is Papua and Maluku. Okay. They have different characteristic of fauna. For example, we had badak bercula satu, the rhinoceros, in Asiatic, but we could not find them in transitional and Australian. We had Komodo dragon in transitional area, but we could not find them in Asiatic and in Australian. And we had wallabies, for example, and cendrawasih bird in Australian area, but we could not find them in Asiatic and transitional area. Ya, contohnya jadi kita lihat misalnya punya badak bercula satu, rhinoceros di zona Asiatic, tapi kita nggak bisa temu dia di transitional dan Australis. Di zona transitional kita punya misalnya komodo. Kita nggak punya komodo di Asiatic dan Australian. Di Australia contohnya kita punya wallaby, burung cendrawasih. Kita nggak bisa temuin mereka di transitional dan Asiatic. Nah, itu adalah contohnya ya. So, the first statement is true ya. The second statement, fauna in the area between the Wallace and Weber area, between these lines, in the transitional area, have similar characteristic to fauna in Australia? Does it? No, No. So this statement is wrong because they have distinctive characteristics which differs from the Asiatic area and Australian area. Ya, mereka punya karakteristik yang berbeda, khas, yang membedakan dengan Asiatic dan Australian. Contohnya itu tadi, komodo. Kita nggak ngelihat itu mirip di Asiatic dan juga nggak mirip sama yang Australian. Ya. Tapi kalau di Papua, itu karena dia Australia, dia mirip ada di Australia. Misalnya di Papua ada hewan yang menyerupai koala, hewan yang menyerupai kanguru. Nah itu, kenapa? Masih zonanya sama. So the second statement is wrong. If the first statement is true, but the second statement is wrong, so the answer is C. Okay, move to the next question. Yogyakarta and Denpasar are cities in Indonesia capable of developing creative industry based on local cultural resources. Because the culture of batik and cloth weaving has become a mass creative industry for the population of both Yogyakarta and Denpasar. Oke, kata soal ini, kota Yogyakarta dan Denpasar adalah di antara kota Indonesia yang capable, yang mampu untuk menjadi pengembangan industri kreatif berdasarkan kebudayaan lokal. Karena katanya kebudayaan batik dan cloth weaving itu apa? Menenun. Telah menjadi industri kreatif yang massal dilakukan oleh para penduduk di Yogyakarta dan Denpasar. Oke. Kita breakdown soalnya. Ya, katanya kota Yogyakarta dan Denpasar. Denpasar itu di mana Denpasar? Denpasar itu di Bali ya. Ya, capable for developing creative industry. Ya, based on local culture. Okay. Is that true? Ya, it's true ya. Di Yogyakarta dan Denpasar itu daerah yang berkembang industri kreatifnya karena berdasarkan kebudayaan lokal. Ya, both cities has developed this creative industry since a long time ago. Ya, so they could be creative industries could be the main resource for tourism, support their tourism activities, for their status as the city of culture, city of heritage, so they could develop their own capability of creative industry, improvement. They need improvement. It's true. And the second statement, the culture of batik and cloth weaving. Nah, in Yogyakarta is batik, while in Denpasar is weaving. Yeah, it's true for both population in Yogyakarta and Denpasar. Once again, it's true, but does it has a cause and effect? Causality. Yeah, it's true. Because why the Yogyakarta and Denpasar capable for developing creative industry based on local cultural resources? Because in Yogyakarta they have batik industry and in Denpasar they have weaving creative industry. Become a mass creative industry for both population in both cities. Therefore, we could see that this industry could be developed further into a creative industry for both cities. So the answer is A. Okay, Sobat Edsen, that's all for this video and see you with Kawasit in other geography video. Salam pintar!
Sekian Sobat Edsen untuk video pembelajaran hari ini. Sampai ketemu lagi di video belajar berikutnya. Jangan lupa aktifkan notifikasi untuk video terbaru kami ya. Sobat Adsense juga bisa mengunjungi adsense.id dan temukan ribuan video pembelajaran. Sampai jumpa Sobat Adsense, salam pintar!